There are so many children today that walk with deep woundedness because of what their fathers did or did not do in their lives.
You are absolutely right, Caspar, because this is unnecessary. All that it takes is for the fathers to step into that difficult conversation with their children and asking that I'm sorry and asking for forgiveness.
However, Pole, many never do it because they don't know how.
And this is why this next session is so important, to help all of us take one step at a time in learning how do we restore these damage done to our loved ones over all these years.
Guys, remember, it's never too late to make it right. And now is the best time.
Yeah.
In this world, we are capable of doing things or saying things that could damage other people. And when we have done that, the way to remedy it is not in our human flesh and it's not in our pride, definitely. It does take an attitude of humility.
And so the first thing I want to let you know is there is hope for restoration. Situations can change. We can't change the past, but we can impact the present by the decisions that we make now. But there are choices that we cannot continue to make. There are two things specifically that you have to stop doing. The first is you have to stop playing the blame game. Justifying yourself helps no one, and it does not certainly allow you to move forward in humility. Until you own your failures and your shortcomings, then nothing about your reality will change. It'll be difficult for you to correct your failures if you never own them. A wrong reaction is just as bad as a transgression. And so it is really important that we don't play the blame game. Secondly, stop playing the shame game. Self-pity is destructive. It enslaves. It doesn't set you free. We want to move beyond self-pity to a place of ownership, to a place of taking responsibility for the decisions that were made. Playing victim doesn't set you free. And so it's critical that we stop these two things. The big word here is responsibility. The big word here is ownership. Taking responsibility for my decisions, taking ownership for my past choices, and making a commitment, making a fresh decision that I am going to change.
The next thing, of course, is to bring ourselves in humility to confess our fault to the other person, confess our transgression that we have caused the other person. And this is showing that you really are taking responsibility of the problem.
Acknowledge your own shortcoming. Don't be scared to own the fact that you were immature, that you struggled with disciplining your emotions, that you had an anger issue. Whatever the shortcoming is, own it. Own it. Mention the consequences that you realize were connected to your actions. I know that this probably had a negative impact on you. Don't shy away from the impact that your decisions have made, have created. Don't try to go around the damage that was done. Own it, acknowledge it. Let that person know that you have a sense of what you've contributed to, of the hurt or the pain that you may have contributed to by your actions or your lack of actions.
And it is about making a specific appointment to speak to the person one-to-one directly. And if possible, maybe sit down in an appropriate place whereby you won't be so easily distracted. Otherwise, take up the phone at least. Or I've done this also, write it in a letter so that you can put down clearly your thoughts and not be too quick with your mind and your mouth so that we can say the wrong thing again. You don't want to commit one thing over another.
In this moment, you also want to show that you are sincere. in your commitment to change going forward. Let them know that you really want to be the best person for them. Be vulnerable. Have a humble heart. Acknowledge the fact that you need this forgiveness. Please forgive me. Allow me to have a second chance. I want to do better. Yes, we agree. Grace is, the truth is that it's unmerited. Acknowledge that. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I don't deserve it, but I'm asking you to forgive me. You want to engage in that. Guys, I can't tell you how important this is. My own dad, we had a time of just really bonding over tears. And as Cassie always says, we bond in weakness more than we do in strength. And he shared with me how he was sorry for not being present, for being addicted to drugs. He said, Imran, you don't have to forgive me, but if you do, man, I am going to give it my best shot. I won't fail you this time around. I am committed to being present. He was humble in heart. He was genuine. He was sincere. We talked over a meal in a special place. He didn't even go through this training. I wish he had. But even then, he understood something because it was sincere.
You would tell them, and you would tell your children also, that I really want to be the dad that God wants me to be, and I need to change from this to that. Can you please forgive me, and can you help me by forgiving me?
You might not have all of the steps together, but I think the important thing is that your child, your daughter, your son, your ward, that they're able to pick up the sincerity in your heart, the sincerity in your voice, that you are committed to change, that you are sorry for what happened and for your role, for the part that you played in contributing to that particular wound. Finally, I really want to challenge you. Submit to an accountability team, a support team that would allow you to do better going forward, so that your words are not empty, convoluted, highfalutin statements that sound good in the moment, only to fall hollow because your actions don't follow through on what you would have made a commitment to. This means that you're committing towards intentional improvement, that there's a desire to get better, that there is a move in the direction of faithfulness. There's a move in the direction of being present. And so whatever the void was, whatever the action was, you now want to walk in the opposite of that. Whether it's a father, whether you're a mom, you want to demonstrate to them that you are committed to doing better in this particular area. And get as much support on the journey as possible. Surround yourself with people who will hold you accountable and will help you to stand firm so that you can be better for your son, so that you can be better for your daughter.